with us here at First Take. We appreciate you hanging out all day. We know you're a busy man.
Man, this was fun. This is fun for me. I've been dreaming about this moment for a long time.
Well, then welcome to the bigs. All right, so let's talk about Gregg Popovich. He gets his 1,000th win. And we were asking this question in the morning meeting, kind of kicking it around. Put into perspective for us how great he is among active coaches and those who are not.
Well, he's the best. He's the best in terms of active coaches, no question about it. I think Doc Rivers is second, but when you think about the championships that he has won, the guys that he brought in terms of, think about where Tony Parker was when he first got to San Antonio and where he is today. That's all because of Popovich, right? Ginobili, remember, head down driver, that's what he was. A lot of times out of control. Guess who sharpened his skills? Popovich made him now a Hall of Famer. Tony Parker is going to be a Hall of Famer. Tim Duncan, he made Tim tougher. Tim had the skills, but Popovich made him a mentally tougher player. And that's why they won, 5 championships, I believe? Yes. And I just love that he coaches everybody the same way. He's hard on the superstars, and he's hard on the role players. Yes. Pat Riley coached me hard. I like that. See, people think that superstars don't want to be coached hard. Yes, they do. They want to be coached hard. They want you to push. I want Pat Riley to push me to a level I'm supposed to be playing here. Yeah. He pushed me to play at that level. And Popovich has done that to Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili. And then they said, the Spurs are boring? What? That's the best kind of basketball. 5 guys get to touch the basketball, play as a team, movement. I love watching the Spurs play because they play the game the right way. And I hope a lot of young players watch San Antonio play because you'll learn how to play basketball.
Go ahead.
First of all, a testament to Gregg Popovich. I call him affectionately the biggest phony in basketball because he is an incredibly nice man. This acerbic attitude or whatever.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure on several occasions of talking to him, and this guy is just a wonderful, wonderful person, and I'm really happy for him. That's number one. Number two, Budenholzer is a testament to Popovich's system because we see what's happening in Atlanta, and that's something special with their personnel. But number three, the one thing that I love about what I'm seeing, Skip, is that as much as I love Showtime, and there's only one Showtime with Magic, and everybody forget about Norm Nixon before Byron Scott, and you got Mike Coop, Michael Thompson, Krampus, and Kareem, everybody. I'm just like, But what I love about it now is devoid of stars. Even though Tim Duncan's a star, devoid of stars, we're looking at a San Antonio, we're looking at Atlanta. Atlanta, to me, is the key because if they end up being successful this year, I think the landscape of the NBA will change for years and years to come. And we'll see people, sort of fading away from the quote-unquote superstar system. And what I love about Showtime is that even though, obviously, they had you and Worthy and the Hall of Famers, y'all didn't just play like superstars, y'all played like a team.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what San Antonio reminds me of, and it's all because of Popovich right now.
I'm obviously a Spurs fan, but I'm going to be an objective Spurs fan today.
Yes. Tell them what you did yesterday. But
we'll get to that. We can get to that. This is just me. And this man is no longer coaching on the NBA level, but I still believe that Larry Brown is a little better basketball coach than Gregg Popovich. And Larry Brown was a mentor of Pop's, going way back to the Kansas days.
I'm talking to mentor teachers.
And you know Larry Brown much better than I do, but this man did more with less in more places on both the pro and the college level than anyone who has ever put a whistle in his mouth.
Okay.
Seriously. Seriously. Yeah. Just on balance on Coach Pop, and I agree with every point you guys just made. And I also appreciate the fact that he had the guts about 5 years ago to say, we were a defensive-minded, lockdown, shut-down sort of defensive basketball team, and all of a sudden he said, we can't get away with that anymore. We got to open it up, we got to push it, and we got to shoot threes like we're a three-point shooting circus, and that's what they have become now. Spread the floor. They will dissect you, but they do it mostly when they are rolling with the three-point shot, okay? So they flipped it completely around. But do not forget, he did have that guy Duncan for 929 of those games. And it's just, he's been such a rock and a leader for this franchise. I think Tim Duncan, because he is the most boring superstar in the history of the sport, still doesn't get the credit for his leadership. He's telling everybody we buy into what this man preaches and teaches.
Well, he's getting it from Popovich, though, because Popovich gives him credit for it.
I understand. I get it. But Pop is a great teacher. You hit the first point right on the head. But Tim Duncan is saying, listen to this man. But let's not forget, this man had a co-host here, and his name was R.C. Buford, and he gets virtually no credit. But he's the best general manager in basketball, and he has been for a good decade. They fell into Pop's first year, the #1 pick in the draft, and Tim Duncan. Then after that, they got Manu Ginobili with the second to the last pick in the draft, in the second round. And again, I get you, he's still wild. He still plays out of control. But listen, Manu's got greatness about him. I don't care what you say.
Yes.
I mean, he had natural, sort of unbridled greatness about him. And Tony Parker was the last pick in the first round. How many times do you score with Tony Parker with the last pick in the first round, R.C. Buford? And Kawhi Leonard, you didn't get him with the 5th pick in the draft. You stole him with the 15th pick in the first round. How often do you get Kawhi Leonard in almost a straight up trade for a George Hill, who ironically last night, George Hill had a wide open, I'm not dissing him, but he had a wide open 3 to win last night's game at Indiana and missed it, and he was the player who was traded for Kawhi Leonard. God bless George Hill, who's a pretty good player, but he ain't no Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
Okay, so that's an all-time steal. Wouldn't you agree?
No question about it. But see, you're killing me right now. And I'm going to tell you why. That was the Laker model. Jerry West, AC Green, Kurt Rambis.
Well,
you're talking
Kobe
about
even.
that was the Laker model.
Yeah, Kobe.
Still in Kobe.
Yeah.
Or Vlade.
Yeah.
San Antonio, you must have a great president or general manager if you're going to be a great coach, because they're going to help you get the players you need to fit your system, right?
Yeah.
And R.C. Buford is tremendous.
Phenomenal.
No question about it.
Phenomenal, yeah.
You know, you're right. And this is what you're right about. Tim Duncan, see, every great coach has a great leader in the locker room and on the floor. And that guy gets you to buy into everything that the coach is preaching, right? That was my job.
And
as
you,
the Lakers,
I'm going to just say this, because you were the greatest leader in the history of the sport to me, even beyond Michael in that regard, just in the leadership category. You were the man. But go ahead.
Thank you. That was my job for the Lakers, get everybody to buy into what Pat Riley was preaching. The San Antonio means so much to basketball in this reason. We got to quit worrying about getting 3 superstars together.
Right.
What happened in Miami, not going to happen anymore. Those were the right 3 guys, right? And a superstar like Dwayne Wade said, I'm okay with you, LeBron, being the man. I've been the man. I won a championship, but I'm okay stepping back. Chris Bosh was the perfect other guy. Why? Because he didn't need the ball. He said, I'm good with my role. I block shots, play defense, get shots when you 2 stop shooting. Now everybody's trying to get 3 players together. Well, Atlanta's proven that wrong. So you're right. I hope Atlanta goes deep into the playoffs. San Antonio's the same way, proving, no, we just need the right guys to play together and the right support guys to come in and play their role.
Let me mess with y'all a little bit, because I'm going to throw a slight monkey wrench at that.
Okay.
Number 1, R.C. Buford is phenomenal. You're absolutely right. Let's not forget that. But when you talk about Popovich and sort of diminishing some credit because of Buford, let me explain something to you. Manu Ginobili wasn't Manu Ginobili until he was coached. He had the potential, but he wasn't who he was until he was coached. Tim Duncan didn't have the toughness, wasn't the leader until he was coached into being that person. So what I'm saying is, when you have a guy like Popovich, where Popovich is special is knowing who to delegate responsibility to, which is Buford, knowing how to lean on Buford, and then knowing what to do with what Buford gets for him. All of this stuff is what most of these coaches today don't know how to do well enough. Now, the other thing is, you brought up the big 3. I love me some Chris Bosh. He can play. I personally believe that his agent, Hank Thomas, should buy Christmas gifts for that man. Make sure you shop. Yeah, you should have cooked Thanksgiving dinner for that brother. I mean, he got you $118 million. Chris Bosh is a very good player, worthy of every penny of $88 million, but not 118. And I'll give you somebody. Let me hear what Magic has to say about them. I'm going to just throw this out of big three. I know you love Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. What about LeBron, Wade, and Melo? If Melo had, instead of signing a 5-year deal, had signed a 3-year deal that would have enabled him to opt out at the same time. Because he's actually tighter with Wade and LeBron than Bosh was at the time. Melo with LeBron and Wade, Lord have mercy.
Well, it would have been great, but in a different way.
Okay.
It would have been great in a different way. And I say that because Melo would have to been good with stepping back. Because or Wade would have, somebody would have had to step back like Chris Bosh did. Okay? And so would he would have been good at doing that.
Get you ready for this?
Okay.
LeBron would have stepped back.
Okay.
Because LeBron can beat you in a multitude of ways, and Melo is a sharpshooter. Melo's a better shooter than Bosh.
Yeah.
Bosh is a spot-up shooter. Melo's a better shooter and scorer. So LeBron, instead of averaging 26, 27, might have averaged 23, 24, might have got a few less touches because he was feeding Melo. That's how that would have worked.
Well, one thing great about LeBron is he always figured out what he has to do to help his team.
That's right.
And even pushing Kevin Love's button the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you have to know that you can do that. See, LeBron knew he could do that. Or he probably wouldn't have came out publicly and tweeted that, right?
Even though he backtracked from it, but go ahead.
We'll talk about that in the next one.
But look, sometimes you need to be pushed.
Sure.
Okay? LeBron's teaching Kyrie and Kevin Love what championship basketball is about. Not playoffs.
Right.
Championship basketball.
Skip, you want to get point in before we go to break?
Real quick, Irvin Johnson. I got it. Some people are going to call us on this if we don't ask you.
Okay.
But when you talk about the big three, and obviously they chose to join forces.
Right.
But you were blessed to have Kareem and Worthy. Now you didn't choose to come together, but you did have a couple of, I think we could call them, one of them was definitely a superstar, the other was definitely a star. Fair point?
Yeah, fair point. No, what I'm saying is this. We didn't okay, I ran over to play with them.
You did not.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, everybody now is trying to figure out, how do I get with 2 other guys? No, maybe you just need 1 other guy and then 3 great role players.
It happens.
And you can still be successful. We're looking at Golden State right now. They don't have 3 guys. They have 2. Then they have 1 superstar, 1 a budding superstar in Clay. And then they have Draymond Green.
I love him. Love Draymond.
And tough, knows how to play, can make the right play, defensive minded, tough.
Backs down from nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
If the big man is healthy, they got a good shot.
What he keeps saying.
They got a good shot. If the big man brought it on, they got to be healthy.
Wrapping up this conversation, Magic says let's move away from the organizing 3-star system. We like to see old Showtime, Spurs, and Hawks model is what we're promoting.
Right.
When we come back, you mentioned LeBron in the tweet. Let's talk about the Cavs and LeBron and said tweet and what you think about it. Magic Johnson still hanging out with us. First Take, folks, will be back in just a few moments.